All right, millennial pause, and we are apparently live. Let me just have a peek here. And is the audio working? It is. Audio sounds good. That's how we know. Have to check it on the stream, otherwise Mikey makes an ass out of himself. Well, anyway, it is Friday night. It was 70 degrees today. It was chilly. It's very warm in here right now. Maybe I should get this window up. Get a little air in here. There we go. It's like unseasonably cool today. There was a heat wave earlier in the week, and then it stormed all day yesterday, or all afternoon and all night. And then we woke up today and it was like fucking cold out. So that's where we're at. But happy Friday, everybody. The socials, of course, Twitter at Mike Montone, Instagram at Gary_Moyler, Moyler, and of course the live stream here at Mike's Golden Streams. It is Friday night, the height of the Jersey Shore summer, so there will be some off weeks coming up. I have a few out of town weekend activities and stuff. So August will be probably a pretty light month in terms of the stream. So I wanted to get another live one in while I could. The first 2 months of the summer were very. I didn't really get too much of a chance to chill. I got a good amount of beach time in, but between the weather and helping my lady friend get her place down there set up, it's been very busy. So I'm going to try to coast through the month of August. I have a lot of fun activities on tap. But in any case, we are here. Speaking of summer vacations, I was in Midtown on Wednesday night. I'm usually in during the day, but I had some friends in from out of town, so we went to dinner at Carmine's. And I went in, and holy fucking shit. I was going in right when the evening rush was heading out. And every once in a while, I'll get kind of caught up in it if I'm coming back from a Mets game. But there was something about going into the city, like, against it. Like, walking through the Port Authority, I was walking against this massive wave of humanity headed back towards New Jersey. It was very weird. There was like this, I don't know if dystopian is the word, but like it was just so strange seeing this mass of people just marching down 8th Avenue. They're all, because it's Midtown, there's just office buildings everywhere, so it all filters onto 8th Avenue, and they all walk down they all walk into the Port Authority, and then they go up the escalators, and then the lines to get on the buses going back to New Jersey at that time of day are like, some of them are a borderline out the fucking building. It's a wild scene. And as much as, I mean, there are things about my commute in the morning that drive me nuts, mostly the element of danger because of all the vagrants that are around, just coming down off of their tweak from the night before. But there's something like there was almost a dehumanizing feel to it, where you're like, you go through this entire day and you feel all these things on an individual level that everyone goes through their own day, but then all of a sudden it's 5:30 and you're part of this just mass of fucking humanity that's just going back. Yeah, and you're almost like, it's literally a rat race. That's why they call it the rat race. You're like, just one of a million fucking rats like running down a tunnel. It's very very strange. And there is something that I wanted to tie in here, and I'll get to it in a minute, but I was like just like looking around the amount of people that are out and about in Midtown at that time of day, because when I leave at noon, it's like it's bumping and it's busy, but there's, for whatever reason, the tourist section of town right before like sunset just starts to get completely overrun. And it's more people than I think that are there all day. And I'm just always confused as to why people come there as tourists. I mean, it's truly a hideous place. It reeks of piss. There's nothing there. Like, there's truly nothing that, like, there's nothing to do in Times Square. Like, I'm so confused by why people go. It's literally just an intersection. Like, there's nothing good there. Like, it's really just a useless fucking place. I just caught a comment here. Sorry, from Wayward Native. In Avon by the Sea. What's near Avon? Let's have a look. Wayward, how are you? Avon by the Sea. I don't think that's too. Yeah, that's right by Belmar. Walking distance. I always get Avon and Avalon confused. Wayward Native. Avon by the Sea. Yes, Joe from Jersey. Great. Like Columns, you go there, have a very good time in Columns. Depends how old you are. So I would say if you're in your 30s, 40s, Columns, a good place. You're not far from DJs. I don't know if you're a Jersey guy, if you spend a lot of time at the shore, but get yourself. You are not far from DJs. Go there. Go to fucking DJs. But if you've never been to DJs, go to DJs. You have to. If you are from, I don't know where you are, where you're from, Wayward Native. But if this is like the only time you're going to be around the shore, get your ass to DJs. And just go there, understanding that 8 o'clock at night, it's gonna be the fucking jungle. Like, it's gonna be like, I would personally suggest, if I don't know what you're doing, like if you're gonna be there through the weekend, go during the day. Go there like in the Saturday or Sunday late afternoon around like happy hour time. That's when you can kind of get away with being like a little bit older at DJs. Now, from 8 o'clock onward, it's just going to turn into, I mean, it's going to be pitch black except for some strobe lights. There are going to be sweaty bodies all over the place. You'll have a blast. I mean, you can have a bad time at DJs, but usually it's just because you're just physically done, or you lose all your friends or whatever. But generally speaking, you want to know what time to go to DJs to avoid Italian Americans hitting on your wife. Well, so here's the thing. Everyone is probably going to hit on your wife. It's DJs. Everybody is kind of there to fuck. There's a very sexy energy at DJs. Like, everyone is legitimately there to get some puss. But I would say, depending on how old you are, if you're like me, I'm 40. My time at DJs is like 4 to 7:30. I think that's the sweet spot. If you're a little bit on the younger side, then then you can stick around later. But I try to be out of there by about 8 o'clock. Because after that it just gets too young, and also I have a woman to fornicate with already, so at that point. But what else? But yes, definitely go to DJs. There are plenty of other places. I don't know what kind of time you're looking for, but Johnny Mac's in Asbury is usually pretty fun. If you're looking for like a club, like a a bigger sized club, Porta in Asbury, usually pretty good on a weekend night, and Jenks down in Point Pleasant usually pops off pretty good. Cowster says that one of the biggest news stations says most unpatriotic states in America, Jersey, followed by New York and California. Yeah, it's interesting. And all of those states, like New Jersey has some like psychotically patriotic chunks to it as well. But it also has some, those states are all very similar. They have very sharp divides, but they tend to be, because they have these very dense urban areas governed by people who are super, super leftist. But there is like Monmouth County and Ocean County, where the Jersey Shore are very, very conservative. Sussex County, like we have a lot of very rural counties in New Jersey. But yeah, there's, New York City is incredibly liberal, and then New Jersey and up, the more local parts of upstate New York, like Westchester and everything, pick up all of those people who move out of New York City, to buy homes and build families. So we tend to absorb a lot of those people, and there's a lot of those, annoying, like America hating fucking liberalism creeping into New Jersey's suburbs. So I don't think that's an inaccurate statement, but there are a lot of us holding the line for fucking America here. New Jersey, I would say New Jersey and New York City also, for their size, put a lot of people into the military. Obviously, down south there and out west, it's a whole different type of patriotism. But you also have to remember that this area took 9/11 on the fucking chin pretty hard. So I think we certainly have patriotism. It's just it's a different kind of it displays itself in different ways. Like New Jersey and New York are very big, like pro cop, pro firefighter, like that kind of patriotism. Very blue collar union places. It's patriotism of a different kind, but they are, I will also say, hotbeds of stupid fucking like idiot leftism. Like there are plenty of public school districts in New Jersey where the Board of Ed wants all of the boys to cut off their penises, for sure. Cheese. So if you go down to South Jersey, like where my parents live, if you the bay off of Long Beach Island, they have like just regular fucking Trump flotillas going up and down the bay. So like I said, it's definitely a different type of patriotism. It does exist, but it tends to get lost in the wash with a lot of the we do have a lot of the libs of TikTok living here. Is there a difference between Jersey Italians and New York Italians? So if you're saying New York Italians, we're talking about people from the outer boroughs, Staten Island, Brooklyn, Bronx, Queens. I don't have too much interaction with Queens Italians because they tend to filter out towards Long Island, and the ones from the Bronx, they suburbanize up towards Westchester. So most of my experience with New York Italians is with the Brooklyn and Staten Island variety. So I would say they have Staten Island and Brooklyn. They have such extreme fucking their accents are bizarre. Like they have this high pitched squeal to it. Like everyone from outside of the New York area thinks it's like this deep, like, yo, Brooklyn. That's not it. It's like this. I cannot for the life of me even imitate it, but it's like high pitched and almost a little bit lispy. It's very funny. Like it catches you off guard. Like when you meet someone who like a legitimate like neighborhood Guinea from Staten Island or Brooklyn, like they have this fucking accent to them, and they have it around here in Jersey City and farther down in Bayonne and around Hoboken. The people who have been around forever have it, but you know what we get are the people we get the Italians who moved into New Jersey are the ones generally that migration took place like 30 to 50 years ago, right? So it was a lot of people's parents and grandparents making the move because they made a little bit more money and they wanted to get the fuck out of the city, and you could still get a house in New Jersey for a reasonable price back then. So they moved out to like parts of Monmouth County. That's why Monmouth County is very conservative. They moved out to a lot of parts of Bergen County. A lot of them went super rural, went up to Sussex County and became fucking farmers. New Jersey is the Garden State for a reason. We do a lot of produce, baby. But yeah, there are. I would say New Jersey Italians definitely, at least in their own minds. I don't know how true this is, but it may be because they're more suburban. Are a little bit more. I don't want to say level-headed and sophisticated, and that fucking the ones that stayed behind in New York are just a bunch of fucking urban morons. But we have our differences. But no, I love them. They're so hardcore about being Italian. I follow a lot of like Brooklyn and Staten Island Italian pages because you get pimped like ideas for very delicious foods and like different things to add to antipastes and to make for the Feast of the Seven. So I'm a big fan of. Which Italians are the gayest? Nighttime Conqueror wants to know. I would say the ones who get really into modern Northern Italian cuisine and love watching Stanley Tucci on CNN fucking sip wine and cruise around Tuscany. Very good cheese. But yeah. And I was talking about New York City before I got off on this tangent. I was going to talk about this asshole who I learned about, this guy, Ira Jessel, because apparently New York City, if people don't understand, I've said this many times whenever it gets warm out, that they have there's this army of men in the morning who spray the sidewalk because they have to get all the piss and shit off of it. It's disgusting. There's feces everywhere and people urinate. And this is all thanks to this organization. This was an actual group, the Committee to End Pay Toilets in America, a 1970s grassroots political organization, one of the main forces behind the elimination of pay toilets in American cities and states, including Chicago was the first, New York, New Jersey, Minnesota, California, Florida, and Ohio. New York City needs needs pay toilets. Like, we need pay toilets the way we have the subway. You should just be able to. There should be freestanding toilets all over the city, and you should be able to pay to get in. And you paying to get in should pay for an attendant to come in and sanitize the place several times a day. And these things need to be out there because it's fucking. It's not just homeless guys who piss on the street in New York City. Like, in my drinking days, if it was late night in New York City, I couldn't find, like, the bar, like, after the fucking bars closed and you're, like, stumbling around trying to get to Penn Station, get back to Jersey. The amount of phone booths that I fucking urinated in Manhattan, countless. So the reason that we do not, and a lot of places, like if you go to Thailand, they have it. You pop a quarter in and you go. It's this Ira Jessel and the Committee to End Pay Toilets in America is responsible for this. And I just recently learned about it, and what a fucking asshole this guy is. And it was like his big fucking cause. This is his quote, because they would say, I guess you'd pay a dime to urinate, and he said these were because they were coin-operated bathrooms, and his quote, "You can have a $50 bill, but if you don't have a dime, that metal box is between you and relief." So I guess he's saying if you didn't have change, you couldn't go to the bathroom. So that was so he banned all. So no one else. So if a guy doesn't have 10 cents, he can't go. Check. I understand. But people carried change back then. By the way, it was the 70s. Like, there was a lot of shit that just cost a dime. And people carried coins. And I remember this because I was around in the 1990s and the early 2000s when people you would just have coins in your pocket. You'd sit on a couch and you would stand up and there would be like $1.50 in fucking coin. If 3 people were sitting on a couch, there'd be like $25 worth of coins on the couch when they all stood up, because coins would just fall out of people's pockets. So it wasn't uncommon to have a dime in your pocket in 1970s. This guy's a fucking asshole. And I just wanted, it's really apropos of nothing. I really just wanted to get it off my chest that you should be able to just fucking tap and piss. It's so much fucking easier. It's a pet cause of mine. Yeah, Conquer, I understand that, if they don't have toilet paper or whatever and no seat, and I understand that. But still, nonetheless, it's a hole to go to the bathroom in. And, if no one's saying that you can't carry on some Kleenex or some wet wipes or bring in And this really, I'm a big believer in you should be clearing out like first thing in the morning. Like, very rarely should you have to shit publicly. But yeah, point taken. Billy Craig, he's up there with Gersh Kuntzman. He is yes. I believe they I believe they would have common cause together for sure. For sure. I'm very good. Sorry. I'm incredibly thirsty. I went out for a very, very brisk 4-mile run right before doing that. Before doing this. So I'm quite parched. Anyway, speaking of Midtown, we had another little incident. It's amazing. So I work up on it's 49th Street. It's the building spans like, a block or two or whatever. So it's like I think it's 49th and 50th or something like that, or 50 and 51st. But I work a few blocks away from where Luigi Mangione shot that guy, and I work a few blocks away from where this NFL Blackstone shooting happened. And apparently now, so one of the victims was this woman, Wesley Lepatner. She was a Blackstone executive. And I guess Blackstone is responsible for buying up a lot of properties. And there's this idea in many circles on the internet that any kind of property ownership is inherently immoral and criminal, and that anyone who owns property should actually be killed. Like there are people who do not believe that anyone should own property, that all property should pretty much just be up for grabs, that because housing is a human right, so people just have the right to exist in other people's space. It's a wild fucking belief. But if you spend enough time on Reddit, you will see a lot of people expressing it. And it's so insane, the things they've been saying about this woman. Like, they've been using, like, they put a picture of her and it said Luigi'd, because I guess she was the CEO of the Blackstone Real Estate Income Trust. And this picture with a stamp over her face, it said Luigi'd, got thousands of likes on Facebook. So this is, I guess, I don't know, I guess this is the dirtbag left. They use the phrase CEO down. This was a mother of two, by the way. Yes, CEO down is what they say. Yeah, and does it say how many likes or how many shit? This got 109,000 likes. This woman had 2 kids. These people, I don't know if, so it's so hard to tell what this is. Obviously, there could, some of it could just be trolly internet people who are play acting and just, that's whatever, for whatever reason, that's what they like to do. And they just like to make arguments about ridiculous shit. And that's what gets them off. Some of it just could be, again, there are always bots being used to do certain things for whatever fucking reason, who knows? So that could be part of it. But if this big of a mass of people actually does like something like that, it also means that there are a lot of people who truly do feel that way. And we'll see when we get to the Sydney Sweeney story here in a moment. As much as some things are always contrived and faked outrage, there also are always a lot of people who truly do feel that way. And it seems like there are a good amount of people who are celebrating this woman's death. And apparently the reason they feel like that is because there's this, I couldn't even begin to explain the economics of it. I vaguely understand that there are these big companies that buy up a lot of real estate, and then I don't know if they sell them. I don't know if they're renting them, if they're using them as Airbnb. I'm sure it's some combination of all of this, and it's having some effect on the housing market. But let's be honest, it's affecting prices, but eventually people do have to buy property to, that property, if no one's going to buy the property, then it becomes worthless. So there is still some sort of supply and demand type thing that'll go on there. What these people seem to be more of the ilk, and they're the same ones, that probably chanting queers for Palestine. Like it's a lot of that. Um, they think that, and they're the ones that show up and anytime a Brooklyn brownstone is being gut renovated, they're the ones who show up and try to like live inside of it, and they shit all over and they do drugs and fucking they throw ugly people parties. These are very ugly people, which a lot of the angry left is very ugly. Yeah, for whatever reason, they hate anyone who has achieved any element of success in their lives, and they celebrate the death of people. They hate corporate America. They hate they're like the NYU students who hang out in Washington Square Park wearing their fucking ACAB t-shirts. But all capitalism is bullshit, or all capitalists are bastards. Or sometimes they swap the C for cop, but their parents all own fucking multi-million dollar houses in fucking the Hamptons or down in Spring Lake or whatever. But they just being shitheads, being antisocial shitheads with leftist ideas is sort of the personality trait that they take up. So that's going on. That today, this week, in the complete moral degradation of society, people are cheering the death of the violent death of a mother of two at her place of business, because they don't like the way real estate markets look at the moment. That's what we have going on, which that's one of those things. That is such a disease of prosperity. That, by the way, is not a disease of poverty. That is not because people are doing badly in this country. That is because people are doing well in this country, but there are a lot of lazy, just shitty, narcissistic, antisocial people out there who they don't want to work. They don't want to putting forth an effort to them is punishment of some kind, even though every other animal on the planet, every living thing that you can conceive of has to work to some degree for food, shelter, and security. From carpenter ants all the way up to humans and elephants and everything else. All of us have to do some form of labor if we would like to have those things. And the greater, the more you labor, the more you can get those things. And if you leverage your labor and do it right, you get more and more and more and more. And that's, that is the way animals work. Our human system happens to be different because we evolved opposable thumbs and language. And we lived long enough to have the grandparent generation around, so knowledge was passed down in ways that it doesn't happen in the rest of the animal kingdom. And our brains exist for kind of retaining shared knowledge and all of these other things that gave us a little bit of a leg up. But at the end of the day, we're still animals, and we still have to do animal things to survive, and animals have to work to survive. That's just how it is. And for whatever reason, these internet people do not like that. They just want to sit around. They want to order Uber Eats and go on the internet and bemoan capitalism, and that's where we are, as they do so on social media run by capitalists. It's fascinating peek into human psychology. Oh, Cowster, fucking Blackstone. What is that, like an African rock or something? Fucking home run, Cowster. Yeah, people, Nighttime Conqueror, the guy walking around with the gun, had some swagger. Yeah, I mean, people were talking about how brazenly he was walking around with the firearm. And I was like, of course, he's got a massive rifle in his hands. Of course, he's walking with swagger and confidence. If you have a rifle, you can do whatever you want. It's great. As someone who has walked around carrying a rifle before, yes, Joe, absolutely correct. It is easy to hate people with money when everything is paid for by your parents. And yes, of course, because a lot of those people hate their parents and they identify that financial success with their parents and they hate them and resent them. Absolutely. So this, speaking of which, there is this Sydney Sweeney ad, and it's amazing. Let me see if I can pull a few of them up. I couldn't get it on my laptop before, so I'm not logged into Twitter, but maybe I can see a few of the quotes. Yeah, good genes implies bad genes. That is what apparently people are upset about. Let's see. Here's what one person says. The concept of attractive people having good genes is Nazi coded. Being attractive / unattractive is purely a societal thing, and the existence of quote unquote good genes implies that there are bad / undesirable genes. Let's do the math on how this could be Nazi shit. It's not Nazi shit. It's sexy shit. So I think the problem is, and of course, a little bit of this is contrived because the American Eagle is leaning into it. And when the right sees something like this going on, they lean into it, which kind of gets it snowballing. And then, the libs really get wound up and et cetera, et cetera. But I think the divide here is on the social American left. You have a lot of people who were brought up so much with the everybody is beautiful bullshit, where there are no objective standards of beauty. It's all in the eye of the beholder, and it's about confidence and how you wear it and rock it and slay and big is beautiful and all this nonsense. You combine that with the fact that those same people have also been obsessing over calling everyone everything is somehow tied to race or what they love calling people Nazis. It's their favorite thing. So I think they genuinely, to a degree, do believe that there is some sort of, because it doesn't register to them. So when they hear good genes, it doesn't register to them anymore that there are genetic features that make one person more sexually attractive than another. And Sydney Sweeney possesses a number of those features. Now, I'm sure she also does a lot to take care of herself and makeup and, professionally shot and all of that, of course, right? Yeah, fine. But that aside, there are elements of Sydney Sweeney's genetics that make her more attractive than most other women. This is not something that those people, they're past the point of delusion on that. They are now, we've now told 2.5 generations, the younger millennials, the Gen Zs, and this now Gen Alpha that's coming up behind them, we've now told 2.5 generations that everyone is beautiful and sexy, and these ads that were all over, and you'd walk through Times Square and there's a fat chick up on the screen with her fucking stretch mark gut hanging out from a fucking a crop top, and they're all body confident and all this fucking nonsense. So I think they believed that so deeply. They got so high on their own supply that to see a classically beautiful woman like Sydney Sweeney, and by the way, the whole Sydney Sweeney is mid thing is hilarious. It's fucking hilarious. It is one of the biggest pieces of incel cope I have ever fucking seen. As people calling Sydney Sweeney mid. But I think I don't think it's fake outrage on the social left on this one. I think that they got so deep into because if you go out, and part of it is look at the way she's also dressing sexy. If you look at the way these fucking the American left dresses, they dress like ugly people. They idolize ugly. They love ugly. They hate sexy because they were bullied by sexy people. The cheerleaders were sexy. The jocks were fit, and we'll get to that in a moment. But it's everything they hate. It's everything they've finally convinced themselves that ugly is hot. And for so long that we just deluded ourselves societally into believing that ugly is hot. That now that there's hot is back, now that we're embracing hot again, they actually believe that it has to do with eugenics and not erections. It has more to do with nugenics, the supplement for male vitality that I think it's Doug Flutie. Is it Doug Flutie and like Bo Jackson are in the fucking commercial? Like Thurman Thomas or something like that. It's not about eugenics. It's about nugenics. These hot chicks give us erections. We like it. We like hot chicks. All right. The era of the ugly chick is over. The bums have lost. Your revolution is over, Mr. Lebowski. The bums lost. The bums will always lose. Yeah. Get the fuck out of here. Fucking uglies. Yes, not Sam. That is it. It's ugly people who hate a hot blonde white chick. Yeah. She is all right. Thank you, T206. Yes. Yes, Frank Thomas. Very much so. You mean incredibly sexy, Cowster. Philly Fathead, brother man. Good to have you here, brother man. Yeah. I just saw a very funny comment from not Sam Miguel here. Miguel Cheyenne definitely hates Sydney Sweeney. Yeah, well, he'd need another gentleman there to make her hot. It's all in good fun. We love Cheyenne. He runs a very profitable beach club. So I guess two more things I wanted to get to. we'll do this. Very quickly, I'll add on to this Sydney Sweeney thing. Is fucking Sacha Baron Cohen has gotten fucking jacked. Where the fuck did it went away? What are they not? They don't want me doing the story. Here it is. It's back. Where's this picture of jacked Sacha Baron Cohen? I mean, it looks like a fucking beast. Let me present it to you. I'll share the screen here in a moment. Yeah. Fucking my man hit the gas, baby. Fucking Borat. More like Gym Rat. More like Buff Rat. Fucking SBC looking fucking D's. But there's this article. Sacha Baron Cohen doesn't realize his midlife post-divorce body is repellent to most women. Judith Woods says that. I don't know what does Judith Woods look like. See if we can find. I'm sure she's very sexy. No, it turns out she's not. This, in fact, might be. This might be one of the frumpiest looking women I have ever seen. In fact, Judith Woods, she's more. I don't know, and you have to be deep into porn to get this reference, but Judith Woods couldn't even make it. She's so frumpy, she couldn't even make it onto Aunt Judy's, and her name is Judith Woods. Judith is not giving anyone Woods, this fucking pile of frump. Fucking get the fuck out of here, Judith. Criticizing fucking jacked Borat. Fuck off. Yeah, so she says, what's her fucking line here? These days, muscle mass equals star power, on screen at any rate. In men's fitness, Baron Cohen has found the perfect body-conscious audience for his great reveal, but I'm not sure how many women will find his pumped-up pecs a thing of beauty. It's great for any midlifers to have a stimulating hobby, and then there's something deeply attractive about a man pursuing a passion. But there's something troubling when that passion turns out to be sculpting himself in the image of a cartoon character. And this is the echoing retort from ugly people with shit physiques, is that there's something wrong with being in really good shape, and that it's not actually attractive, and that the fat women or out of shape women will tell you that that no one wants to touch a guy's body if he's in good shape because it's too hard. It becomes uncomfortable, which just goes to show you that they haven't actually, they don't know that it, just because it looks hard. Like, I'm touching my abs right now, and though they be chiseled, they're not actually rocks. Like, they still feel quite nice. And if you've ever like fucked a chick with a soft body, you know what I'm talking about. It's actually not pleasing to slam. It's like weird. It's like falling into a fucking like a pile of feathers, like a deep feather duvet. It's like fucking, you want something with a little pop to it. So in any case, this idea that they try to perpetuate, like it's along the same lines as sexy Sydney Sweeney. They don't want anything to be a meritocracy, right? They don't want the people who make a lot of money to buy the nice house. They don't want the chick with the hot body to get the modeling gig. They don't want the guy with the fucking jacked arms to fuck the hot chick with the modeling. It's just all it's all, you know, it's why, again, it's why they love communism so much. Anyway. Yeah, it's jiggly, but it's not good. Like, there's, if you've ever fucked a thick chick who is like, she may have like a fucking roll or two, but like it's like thick and she's got like some muscle to her. But it's, the muscle is covered by like a layer of adipose, but like she's like a curvy fucking thick chick. There's a little, again, there's like a fucking pop to it when you're pounding away. If you just fuck a true fat chick, it's like soft. Like you hit it and it just ripples away. Like there's no, it doesn't resist. It's very strange. Yes, that's it, Cast. You want a little recoil. See, Nighttime Conqueror, I'm going to disagree with you here. Memory foam mattresses are great. For a mattress, you do want that. You want to get absorbed right into it, as Chucky D says here. But for a woman's body, you don't. Or I would imagine for a woman having sex with a guy, they wouldn't want that. They want something they can, push against, something. And also some, a lot of women there also, they want to be kind of physically taken by a man. They don't want some fucking soft-bodied little fucking cuck going at them. They want to be fucking, they want to be ravaged in a good way, not in the way like in Gladiator when Joaquin Phoenix told Russell Crowe that they ravaged his wife. That was a different kind of ravaging. But yeah. And then the last thing that we'll touch on here is just I have to, because it's so, I mean, the Time 100 Best Podcasts of all time is, this might be one of the most asinine lists that I have ever seen compiled. And we'll just go through some of them. So they start with, and you know what? I'll share it for everyone's benefit, because you may see one on there that I don't know. And yes, thank you, Conqueror. I see commenting. All right, yes, that list is trash. And yes, Cowster, yes, very much like I ravaged that Indian woman in the cuckold session that I didn't realize was a cuckold session. Fun though, a lot of fun. Had a lot of we had a great time fucking that Indian chick. She was a little spinner, and I cream pied her, washed my cock off afterwards. Wasn't sure if she was clean. Here's the list. I hope you can see it. I mean, this is a bad list. Fucking, let's start with Two Dope Queens was garbage. It was that came along in the, when woke was bursting onto the scene, and Lean In, and everything was women. This, it was before the left decided that they hated women who weren't born with a penis. So they had the Two Dope Queens was this podcast. I think they would do it live on HBO once in a while. And I tried to get into it because everyone's like, oh, it's so good and it's funny. And it was terrible. And I, again, when I talk about the left here, I really don't mean like the political, like Washington D.C. left. I use it more as like just a kind of catch-all social phrasing. Like I don't actually. This isn't a politics show. It's much. I prefer. I like to. I like to observe society. It's very. It's interesting to me, and I think there's a lot to mine for conversation there. For background on when I talk about shit like that, I come from a very sort of liberal tradition. Like, I went to Muhlenberg College. I have a degree in communication and political science from Muhlenberg, which is a very liberal school. I grew up in a town that was sort of socially liberal, fiscal conservative. I took a lot of different arts classes in high school. My father worked in media. I've worked in media. I worked in a New York City newsroom for close to a decade. So a lot of the input that I received early in my life was very liberal. So like when a lot of the woke stuff started coming out, I didn't think it was like incredibly ridiculous because I'd gone out, seen the rest of the world, and I was like, oh man, like that, like I know very nice gay people back home, and like these people that I know from out here really don't like that. It would probably be good if they learned a little bit like that. But then it just hit like this fucking tidal wave and went horribly wrong. And I think that's where they lost people. Like I come from a very similar sort of academic and cultural background as Bill Maher. Like his father worked in New York City radio. He grew up a couple towns away from me, went to a similar type of Northeastern school, et cetera, et cetera. And I think that's where the social left in this country lost a lot of people like us, is when they started insisting upon shit like Two Dope Queens, and it was very like Armchair Expert with Dax Shepard is here, and it's this sort of that is what if guys like me listen to Joe Rogan because we like weightlifting and mixed martial arts and outdoors shit and fucking testosterone, Armchair Expert with Dax Shepard is what a lot of it's what a lot of people that were probably walking in that torrent at rush hour the other day, leaving Midtown office buildings. A lot of them listen to shit like that because it helps them feel smarter than everybody. Let's see, what else? Of course, the Bill Simmons podcast, right? It was the Bill Simmons Reddit page where people were complaining about Shane Gillis doing that monologue at the ESPYs, which was absolutely fucking hilarious. Those kind of guys hate guys like Shane Gillis because guys like Shane Gillis were the ones throwing the fucking keg parties and getting like all the fucking campus sluts to come over and hang out. Odds are if you're a Bill Simmons listener who hates Shane Gillis, it's because your girlfriend went to a party at a house run by a few guys reminiscent of Shane Gillis, and someone at that party, fucked or fingered your girlfriend. And it happened 20 years ago, and you still haven't gotten over it. So you hate, like, listen, I think, again, I was a jock, so I think, frat guys are fucking queers for a completely fucking different reason. But I have more common cause with fratty America than I do with Bill Simmons America, I guess is a good way to put it. I feel like the average Bill Simmons listener would fit in well in that room in South Park where they're all sniffing their own farts. they fart into a glass. Um, Call Her Daddy is on there. Yeah, I know she's a power woman and all that shit. Sure, whatever. Good for good for her. She's she you know yeah I don't I listen to it. It's I'm certainly not the target demo, but it's not without its power. And I thought that her just kind of did she kind of expose Kamala for being fucking ridiculous? Like, didn't that come out of it? Everyone thought it was going to be this big feminist moment, and then like, it just kind of like I feel like she just kind of allowed fucking Kamala to fall on her face and fail. Maybe I'm getting that wrong, but yeah. Um, what else? Conan, of course. Conan rules. Um, Hardcore History, I love. Dan Carlin's great. But again, he's a very liberal guy. He's a darling of liberalism. They love him. What else? Yeah, the Ezra Klein show. Like that's one of those ones where, you know, if you're using Bumble out in Red Hook, Brooklyn, you probably put that you listen to the Ezra Klein show. A lot of chicks who whatchamacallit, you will see a lot of chicks in the New York area will put friend of the pod in their dating bios. That means they listen to Pod Save America, which is a very pretentious, douchey liberal podcast. I mean, I'm going through this. I don't know what the fuck a lot of these people are, or what these fucking shows are. I'm sure a lot of them are just pure drivel. New Heights with Jason and Travis Kelce. Again, Jason, it's funny. Jason and Travis Kelce are an interesting pair because, Travis is with Taylor Swift, and Jason, his wife is, I think, Olympic soccer player, skier, some shit like that. So there's a degree to which these guys are like the safe jocks for the New York Times crowd to like, because they're sort of with the right women, and like you know they're non-toxically masculine, except they're both actually, if you actually look at who these guys actually are, they are actually quite toxically masculine in the sense that those kind of douchebags use the phrase toxically masculine. And I don't mean like toxically masculine in the actual toxically masculine sense, like they're, homophobic alcoholics who neglect their families, or, what have you. I mean that they play a violent sport, they love pussy, and they love making dick jokes and patriotism, which that really rubs a lot of that. They have to look the other way so hard on all of that shit, which makes it kind of funny. What else do we have here? What is this? Nice White Parents, a plight in public schools. I may actually have to. I'm gonna have to add that to the. That just sounds like it'll be a fucking treat to listen to. Just a moment as I add that to my Spotify. I love shit like that. Nice White Parents. Let's see. Public schools are inequitable because the school systems are maniacally loyal to white families. We can't have equitable public education unless schools limit the disproportionate power of white parents. But is that even possible? Chana finds two schools that are trying to do just that. And both are actually inside the 293 building. One is downstairs in the basement, where a charter school called Success Academy opened about 7 years ago. The other is upstairs at BHS, the newly renamed SIS. Yeah, so I'm going to listen. I am absolutely going to listen. Let me follow that one. Something good has come out of this list after all. That is going to be a hilarious listen. What else do we have? Um, bu- 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 Nothing. A lot of these I'm going through. If the reason I'm not saying anything, oh, Slate's audio book club. Great minds read great books. Oh, how very Slate of them, by the way. Is anyone up their own ass the way Slate and its readership are? Like, you really have to be a self-indulgent douche to read Slate and then to listen to Slate's to listening to a Slate audio book club podcast might be one of the highest levels of asshole that you can achieve. That is like the brown belt of being an asshole. The New York Times still processing smart takes on our cultural landscape. Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. I'm sure there'll be smart takes. The tennis podcast, of course, because you have to understand these kind of people. Again, these people they hate football. They like baseball, except there are problematic elements to them of baseball, like when when white broadcasters complain about Dominican players bat flipping. Or if a white flamethrower goes up and in on a Dominican player after he flips his bat on him, they find that troubling. And of course, the NFL, is racist and misogynist and violent. So they don't like the NFL. But it's too culturally significant for them to deny. But they really prefer tennis. They like a nice racket sport. The leisure class loves racket sports. That's why they all play. None of them are coordinated enough to play tennis, so they all actually they play pickleball. Of course, WTF with Mark Maron is here. Right, that is where Joe Rogan should be, but Mark Maron is there. Um, and that's it. It's run out completely. So Shane Gillis, his podcast isn't in there, of course. What else? Theo Vaughn, who he certainly helped swing the election. He got some. That's not there. None of the Barstool podcasts is there. Really, Pardon My Take couldn't make this list. Pardon My Take is not as good or important as Search Engine. No question, too silly or serious. The Joe Rogan Experience, not as good or important as The Retrievals, how healthcare fails women. Like, just get the fuck out of here. Seriously. Pat McAfee? No Pat McAfee? I mean, just incredible. Incredible stuff. Bateman, have a good night. Good to have you here. Yes, indeed. Tim Dillon missing. Nighttime Conqueror. Yes. Quite true. And yeah, AYG is not on there. I mean, come on. No love for the bozos and the homies? Get the fuck out of here. Conquer, I don't know if this is true or not. And yes, T206. I am not on that list. It is a very fake list. Anyway, it is a bit past time here. So I'm gonna wrap up. Time to time to make a steak and some taters. I have to get up early to lift weights tomorrow, and then I am I'm gonna be heading down the shore. A little pool party to go to at my buddy's house, and then I believe we are hitting the clubs, baby. I think probably a little DJs tomorrow might be in order. So I have to go fuel up and rest up, and I'm going to try to catch the end of this Mets game. Thank you guys for being here. Next weekend, more than likely, we'll be taking off. I'm not sure about the weekend after that. The Jersey City Italian Fest is coming up, and I need to get to that at least once. So I'm not sure if that's going to be Friday night. I'll figure it out. It's August. It'll be it'll be touch and go. Yes, that is right, Cheese. The female body inspector is on the prowl, baby. Twitter at Mike Montone, Instagram Gary_Moyler MOYLER. And what else? Oh, Sacktap Live, of course, at Mike's Golden Streams on YouTube. And that's that. Adios, motherfuckers.